The number one life-altering concept that I want everyone to hear, because I don't know if you're going to hear it from many people, and that is assume intelligence. Assume intelligence of your child. And it doesn't matter how their body's behaving, what they're doing, if they're flapping, if they're hitting their head or whatever. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if they talk. It doesn't matter if all they do is make sounds. It doesn't matter if they walk around the house singing all day long, jumping up and down and flapping their hands. It does not matter. I want the concept of assuming intelligence to be understood as the number one thing. It's life-altering. It's life-altering for your child. It's life-altering for us as parents. And it doesn't hurt anybody to assume that someone is intelligent. Okay? So, you know, in this society, we are so monocommunicative. Can I say that word? Monocommunicative, in that we communicate one way. So we are so focused on language as the means of communication that if someone doesn't have it, all of a sudden so much about them changes. In our viewpoint as a human that's just judging people naturally, because that's what we do. We don't necessarily mean to, but that's what we do. And this society is structured so much based on one's ability to talk that if one does not have that ability to talk or quiet their voice or sit still or stop using their body in a certain way at an appropriate time that someone imposes upon you, then all of a sudden you're labeled. You're labeled as intellectually slow. You're labeled as a behavior challenge, or you're labeled this, that, or the other thing, instead of just an intelligent human being that does not have control over every movement of their body, period. Autism is a brain-body connection challenge. That's what it is. It's neurologically tough for autistic people to have control over everything that their body does. Their motor movements are not reliable necessarily because the brain and body aren't communicating the way a neurotypical person's does. Okay? So if we can understand that just because someone's doing this and they need a visual input to calm themselves, doesn't mean that they're not hearing you. And it doesn't mean that they're not understanding everything you're saying. Why do we relate the two? Why? Who said? Right? Who said? Was there some big announcement that I missed? It's just the way society has evolved. And our kids are kind of here to bust that paradigm because they're not going to fit in. They don't fit in to what we're used to. It doesn't make them weird and it doesn't make them less than. They are living a different type of life than we are living. And it has nothing to do with whether they're intelligent or not. So once we assume that they're intelligent, let's just do it. Who cares? It's not going to hurt them. Let's just start reading age-appropriate material to them. If they're 8 years old, Dr. Seuss ain't going to do it for them. Right? We're done. One of the first things my son said to me is, "Mom, I love Llama Llama Red Pajama, but it's time to move on." And that was his STEM book. He kept going, and we would read it all the time, and it comforted him. I'm like, oh, he loves this book so much, he wants to read it all the time. It actually became a habit and an impulse that he just grabbed that book. So he actually said, please make it stop. Sometimes when he does these impulsive things, please make me stop doing it. He doesn't want to be doing it all the time.